Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the show, Harrington, thank you for being here. And all you believers, thank you for watching. Apologies, we didn't do a show last week and we didn't do a show Monday. You'll be watching this Wednesday evening. I was away last week working on a movie. It's a big, big movie with a lot of MMA personalities. Tried to make a show happen on Sunday, schedules, all that type of stuff. Anyway, we're here. Apologies. There you go. Mike Harrington, how the hell are you?
Dude, I'm doing excellent. It was nice to have a couple of extra days, hang out with the fam. Now my wife and child are gone, so I am 100% locked in, devoted to BYM right now.
Oh, well, good. Glad to hear it, because we have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things popping, a lot of speculation, a lot of things brewing. Real quick, I just want to say a big shout out to the city of Atlanta. That's where we were shooting this film, and it's only a small part, very, very small part, but a couple of fun scenes. And MMA fans, UFC fans are going to love this when it comes out. I'm telling you now. Anyway, the people in Atlanta, it's true what they say about Southern hospitality. Oh, my God, the nicest people. I did a little video, but then I deleted it on Instagram talking about the TSA. Even the TSA at the airport in Atlanta. Beautiful people, have a great day, sir. Give you a smile, all the rest of it. You go to LA, they talk to you like shit. They bark instructions at you. They're just plain rude. You know what I mean? When there's no need to be. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Atlanta, thank you very, very much. Still, enough about that. Harrington, give me a story.
Okay, I think the biggest news, especially for people watching this show, would be former heavyweight champion of the world, a guy who just challenged to unify the belts, Tyson Fury, having a rough Saturday night, it seems. He was escorted out of a pub, as you can see here, by some bouncers, and then had an unfortunate incident down the block.
Yeah, I mean, so this was his hometown of Morecambe, and there he is there. Falls down to his knees and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of speculation online. First of all, shout out to the man. Still hanging out in his hometown of Morecambe. Excuse me. No offense to the people of Morecambe. It's not the nicest place on planet Earth, okay? It's just not. It's a very, very working class town. He still lives there. He's still hanging out. He's still a normal person. He's going out, enjoying himself. I don't think anybody, when they go out with the intentions of getting that hammered, but you go out and you have a few too many drinks, and next thing you know, you're falling on your ass. Most people that indulge in alcohol, certainly in the fashion that men do from the northwest of England, they've probably been in that state at some point. The problem is for Tyson Fury is that, of course, he's a very, very famous man. And in this modern day and age, people pull their phones out. When I was just in Atlanta Saturday night, I was sitting down watching the Jared Cannonier fight, and there was a wedding going on. And there was a woman. She looked to be a very nice, respectable lady. She'd had too much to drink. She fell over, a glass smashed and everything, and everybody laughed. And, it was nothing, much ado about nothing. She got up and she was a bit embarrassed, and, they swept up the glass, and that was that. No big deal. But she's not Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? So people weren't filming. We've all been there. Now, the speculation is because of Tyson Fury with his problems with depression and things like that, and he's gone off the rails before, and he spoke very openly and candidly about battling demons, depression, substance abuse, alcohol, putting on extreme amounts of weight, getting up to 360 pounds or whatever it was. I see YouTubers speculating that, this is it. This could be the beginning of a decline because his identity has been taken away from him. He's the Gypsy King. He's the undefeated one. No man alive, born of a woman and all that stuff. Well, he lost a fight, fair and square. The better man won in Alexander Usyk. So I understand that the theory of why people are saying that. They're looking into this, but I think they're just looking into it too deep. He's a human being. He's been in training camp for probably the last 6 to 8 months because there was a cut on the eye. You know what I mean? He's gone off. He's blown off some steam. He's with his mates, maybe his old crew. There's probably some shots going on, right? He's having a night out and it's just got a little bit carried away. And because of his time away and being disciplined and all the rest of it's gone to his head. Maybe he's getting older. He can't take it anymore. Maybe he had too much to drink. Who knows? But he's in a pub. He's enjoying himself. And he's slipped and fallen over and been hammered. I think people are looking into it way too deeply, right? Yeah. Will he be pissed off? Of course he will. He'll be angry. He'll want to get back in the gym. He'll want to get revenge. He'll want to have that rematch, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, the man's still just a human being, right? And there's no path that is carved out. There's no lifestyle book to teach you how to be one of the most famous athletes on the planet. And when you lose the first time, how to handle it. So he's just out enjoying himself. And all these people, anyone that has an issue with that and everyone reporting on it, listen, I get it for the clickbaits and all the rest of it, and it sells, and they can sell ads on, nobody buys newspapers these days, but you know what I mean? That's why they report on this stuff. But if that little prick hadn't filmed that on his camera phone, no one would know, because it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So I think people are looking into it far too much.
Dude, if that's you, that's Mikey B, makes good back in Clitheroe, right? He's closing down the local pub. Do you think the local Clithorians would have the stones to post a video of you getting escorted out, or do they know not to mess with Mikey B like
1,000,000%.
Yeah. It's going up.
You never know. It depends who you're with. If you're with friends, like real friends, they wouldn't do that. But if they just, listen, onlookers, fans, people like that, people just pull the phones out anyway when they see somebody like a Tyson Fury. They do it with people like me, and I ain't nowhere near the stratosphere of Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the way that it is. But he'll be fine. He would have had a sore head the next day. He'll be embarrassed when he sees that all over the newspapers and people talking about it and all the rest of it. But the main thing eating away at him is the fact that he just lost his belt. We all deal with hangovers. We've all been drunk. We've all made a fool out of ourselves. He didn't hurt anybody. He wasn't starting fights. He wasn't slapping people. He wasn't starting being abusive to women. He wasn't doing anything like that. He got drunk and slipped and fell over. You know what I mean? Ooh, what did he do? Every single town in England, I used to love this when I was DJing back in the day. I used to love it because when I come out the club at like 2 a.m. or whatever time it was, I'd always drive down certain streets just to have a look, just to have a watch. Because on the streets, there's always one main street where the kebab shops are and the pizza shops and the burger shops and all the rest of it. And they're packed, and everyone's eating food and throwing up and arguing and fights going on and girls with next to nothing on. I'm like, come on, let's do a little lap. Let's do a little lap and see the madness, what's cooking before we drive home. Anyway, there you go. Tyson Fury, rest up. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope the headache wasn't too bad the next morning. What else is going on, Herringbone?
So this one I thought was kind of interesting. Jamahal Hill is taking exception with Alex Pereira. He seems to just, it seems like he just found out that he lost the fight, and now he's like taking the social media to clown on Alex. He said that he was nothing but classy when he defeated Glover Teixeira in Brazil. Meanwhile, Pereira is here gloating over his body. Just, he took exception with that.
Yeah, listen. He lost his belt. He fought a very, very tough guy. Brian, can we play the other video? There's a video of Jamahal Hill offering $20,000 to all the haters or to anybody talking crap, because that's the one that's more interesting. Listen, of course, Jamal's a proud man. He's got a nasty streak in him. That's why he's got to where he is. That's why he discovered that he can fight. That's probably why he didn't go into pro basketball, because he's an incredible athlete, apparently a very good basketball player. But the man likes to fight, and he's an angry bastard. Here, look at this.
Hey, yo, all that, bro. At the end of the day, bro, y'all can only talk so much shit before somebody, start to say something back. So for all y'all that's talking all this shit about this fighting shit, y'all want to speak on some fighting shit, we talk money shit, nigga. 20 bands. Pull up to the gym. Anybody all y'all that's talking on these posts and all of this shit, and this and that, I got 20 bands. Pull up to the gym, bro. Come get paid. I know y'all broke and need it. All that, bro. At the end of the day,
clearly by that, you can tell that, it's all bothering him. This is the thing on social media these days. These are people that you don't even know, that you're never going to even meet. So you should just ignore it. Regardless of whatever it is that you post, people are always going to talk crap. When you're in the public eye, like Jamahal Hill, and you were the champion, and you get stopped in the way that he did, people are going to talk shit, especially the way that Jamahal Hill was talking before the fight. That's the risk that you take. Like I was dismissing GSP completely. I got beat. You know, you got to eat that humble pie and just take it on the chin again for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so, go on.
Did you get a lot of tweets from GSP fans like, Michael, you should be embarrassed?
I didn't actually know, because much like George, they're probably the most sophisticated subculture of mixed martial arts. You know what I mean? These guys, I would never lower myself to act such a way on social media. Yes, Brian, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, the internet has this hilarious opinion, by the way. That Alex Pereira should show up to the gym and take the $20,000.
God. Yeah. I mean, I like Jamahal, so I'm hesitant to say this, but you're just feeding into the trolls there. They say don't feed the trolls when they're talking shit. Don't do a video showing that they're clearly getting to you, flexing 20 grand and saying, get your ass in the gym. They don't have to come into the gym and fight you. You know, they're fans. Fans are allowed an opinion on the sport, right? Without the fans, there's no sport. So there's no athletes, there's no fighters, there's no big paychecks. Without the fans, there's nothing. Some of those fans are going to support you. Some of those fans are going to talk shit. And that's what makes it great. And that's what makes sports so entertaining. And the more passionate the fans are, the better it is. You know, like John Jones has got passionate fans. Islam Makhachev has ridiculously passionate fans that are attacking me like crazy for thinking that Jones is the pound for pound number one. He might be. It might be Islam. There's no need to get offended. These are just opinions. They're both incredible fighters. You know what I mean? But people are passionate. It's all good.
Not to mention, this is a made-up list for a made-up belt that doesn't exist, right? And it changes once every 3 months, pretty much. Yeah.
No, it does. It does. So Jamal's just pissed. You know what I mean? He's angry. Probably more so at himself. I'm no therapist, far from it. I could do with some more therapy. But I would just say, knowing the path of a fighter, he's probably deep down annoyed at himself for losing, for getting caught with that punch. You know, he probably thought in his mind he's going to defend the belt. He's going to make millions of dollars. He's going to go on a long run, generate ridiculous wealth, and sail off into the sunset. And all those plans get derailed. And now on top of that, now you got to deal with Johnny 5X23 on Instagram saying that you suck balls and you're a lot of shit and you were never that good in the first place. You know what I mean? And when you look at that, sometimes it can get on your tits, but you just ignore them. And of course, anyone that says they don't read the comments is probably full of shit, but I don't read all the comments because I don't have time. I'll look at the first few because you're interested. You look at the first few, even on there here, when a new episode drops, I'll check in to see how it's performing. I'll look at the first few comments, whatever, whilst I have my coffee, get a general vibe. They were like, Bisping was kind of a dick on that one. He was way off on that point. I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't read the comments. See you later. All right, this episode is sponsored by Choq, that specializes in natural testosterone boosters, but more importantly, natural testosterone boosters that work. Look, listen, you see it all the time, guys working out, they eat clean, all the rest of it, but they're not making gains. That's because men's testosterone levels are at an all-time low, and not a day goes by that I see someone that had a bad diet earlier on in life, or they've just got low testosterone levels naturally, and they need a little boost to help out their training and to help out their lifestyle. When the testosterone starts to drop, it's the vital ingredient to being a man. You don't have the same energy. The libido drops. It's harder to gain muscle. It's easier to gain fat. So that is where Choq comes in. They've created an all-new natural testosterone booster, taking the sports nutrition world by storm, and I prefer Choq for several reasons. Well, number one, you know exactly what you're getting in. Okay, Choq are proud to stand above the rest in clean, pure, and healthy products. They use full disclosure labeling, so you know exactly the amount of each ingredient, and they never use proprietary blends. There's no label fluffing, there's no underdosing. All ingredients are measured to exact clinical research, and Choq Daily is the cleanest research-based testosterone booster available on the market. And along with Choq Daily, be sure to check out the Male Vitality Stack and the Stack ultra. You want to boost your testosterone, you want to do it naturally, and you want to do it with a product that works, well, then you got to go to Choq.com, and to get 35% off your order, use the code Bisping. Choq.com, the code is Bisping for a gigantic 35% off your order. Choq.com, code is Bisping, 35% off. Speaking of Alex Pereira, I'm hearing big rumors of Alex Pereira and a rematch of Yuri Prochazka. I don't know what those rumors were, but it seems like you know more about that.
Yeah, so he was at, I believe it was called Icon MMA, some Eastern European promotion. He was kind of ambush interviewed, from the crowd. He said during that interview that his next fight is booked, like he signed the contract on it. And the reporter went on to speculate, and I'm not going to do it justice. Why don't we just listen to him talk about it?
Okay, perfectly timed up by Brian there.
Rád bych taky oznámil, že jsem něco podepsal, ale ještě si budeme muset počkat, protože zase moje organizace trošku s tím prodlí, tak já doufám, že za pár dní už to budeme vědět a bude to venku a jdeme pro to.
Můžu spekulovat?
Hele, já jsem v tomhletom striktní trošku.
Tak ty nesmíš nic říct a já budu spekulovat.
Spekuluji.
Takže dámy a pánové, Jiří Procházka bude podle mého náhradou na turnaji 303 UFC za zraněného Conora McGregora v titulovém zápase s Pereirou, hlavní zápas. A Jirka nemůže nic říct, ty vole.
Hezká spekulace. Hezká spekulace. Je tam ještě víc.
I mean, yeah, Yuri's in a spot there. Poor old Yuri, you know what I mean? Because you get told, don't say anything. Certainly if it's something like this, don't say anything. It might be that I don't think that necessarily means what you think. You think that means 100% that's the case. I don't think it means that. I think it just means, he's playing the game. He's saying nice speculation. Yuri versus Pereira 2. I'd like to see it. I think everyone would want to see it. But I do believe, and I'm a massive fan of Yuri Prochazka, certainly after that fight with Alexander Rakic. What a war. The next guy's Magomed Ankalaev. What is going on with Magomed Ankalaev? Well, it's got to be Magomed Ankalaev, right?
I thought he was booked to fight Jamahal, and then he got injured.
Am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing something. Really?
Yeah. No, I think it was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be Yuri, especially because I think Ankalaev was out for. Ankalaev is out for a while. He wanted to fight in like Abu Dhabi or sometime in the spring or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I hadn't heard that. But if that's the case, that's the case.
Yeah, Jamahal was supposed to fight Khalil. I'm sorry about that. I got that confused.
Yes,
but,
that is correct. Khalil got injured, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, Magomed Ankalaev is out there. He's undefeated other than the one freak loss to Paul Craig. He's the next guy in line. But I don't care either way. I mean, if Yuri gets it, I'd like to see that again. I thought that was shaping up to be a great fight until those elbows against the fence. Fair play to Alex Pereira. But I do think that leads us on quite nicely to yet another discussion about UFC 303. I mean, it's a pretty good segue.
There's a reason that you're the segue of the year. You're the man at this. There's no one better.
That's not what I'm looking for, Herringbone. One demerits. What I'm looking for is some speculation from yourself and some facts and figures. I see Ariel Helwani is out there, right? And he's posting and he's tweeting. A lot of the time he's posting and tweeting like he's an expert on everything, but he knows nothing. He's putting feelers out there. But Ariel also is the type of guy to be calling managers, agents, fighters, coaches, sparring partners, because that's what he wants to do. That's his badge of honor. He likes to break news. Do you know what I mean? I'm much like you or anyone else. I obviously am involved with the sport. I'll be commentating this weekend and I have contacts and stuff like that. But if I hear of a situation, I'm not doing investigative journalism, trying to find out, like my life depends on it, and I will risk everything so I can be the one to break it, because who gives a and it's none of your business. Do you know what I mean? What will be. Stay out of it, you prick. But apparently he's been doing that. What was the statement from him? Have you got it right there?
Yeah. So
You read that out.
you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
All right. Latest on UFC 303. Around this time last week, all the anxiety surrounding UFC 3 main event seemed to start to dissipate. By Wednesday, no more feelers about replacements were being sent out. All systems seemed to be a go again. Later in the week, Chandler did an interview with The Pivot about it being all good. And on the UFC was promoting on Saturday, the UFC was promoting it again on the ABC Fight Night telecast. There was a scare about the fight being off, and the scare appeared to be no more. But since this morning, meaning yesterday, multiple sources are now saying feelers are being sent out again for June 29th for a replacement and or new fights. In short, there seems to be pessimism all over again regarding the status of the 303 main event. Actually, even more pessimism, it seems, than on Mondays last week when the presser was canceled at last minute. Is this insurance, due diligence, emergency replacement mode? Remains to be seen. It is all developing again, but it does appear as though we are out of the woods either way just yet. Okay, more to come and definitive answer one way or another in short order.
Yeah, so once again, big long statement, sounding like an expert, but no news. So I did a YouTube video yesterday saying, it's back on. Do you know what I mean? And no,
they ran a promo.
It looked that way because everything came down, then everything went back up. I mean, the press conference was cancelled. The advertisement came off ESPN. The free fights were taken down. Press conference was cancelled. That's one of the big ones. And nothing. And then everything reappears again. Conor McGregor's posting sparring footage. By the way, looking very sharp, I might add. He was looking good. And I was like, if that's new sparring footage, there's nothing wrong with his leg. Now, I was speaking to somebody that does know someone very close to the situation, and I'm not at liberty to divulge that. And this person said it was off, and then it said it was on. The reality is I don't know what's bloody going on. I don't think anybody does. And the only people that do is the UFC. So, but I did a video on it, and McGregor looked sharp, and he was dancing around on that leg, and he was going side to side, and he was throwing kicks and all the rest of it, and knees, and he looked sharp. But the only thing, and just to repeat what me and Anthony said, I think, I mean, if it's off, I assume McGregor is injured. But we don't know for sure. We don't know anything. So we're all just bloody speculating about the nonsense, but it's getting close. Anyway, there's no point speculating, right? There's no point doing a podcast speculating if I'm talking shit about Ariel Helwani tweeting speculation. Do you know what I mean? We're going to do an entire podcast where we speculate about nothing.
To be fair, Ariel also did a podcast openly speculating. Seems like he's an old West prospector. He's just in the speculation business these days.
He's an old speculating son of a bitch. Right. So give me a non-MMA story, please.
Okay. This one was absolutely wild. Did you see this bull getting loose at a rodeo?
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was Indiana. I'm not 100% sure, though.
All right. So here they are. Here we go. Rodeo. I've never been to a rodeo, but I can't wait to go. It's a big old bull as well. Those things are so powerful. The athletic ability as well is ridiculous. Check this out now. Get ready for it. Whoop, no problem. Straight over the fence, out the back, knocks the garbage can over. You're going for a ride. See ya. Off. Boom. Wow. Look at that. Look at the power on that. That is insane. Oh, and it's still going. It's out in the streets, in the fields, in the car park. I did hear, though, they never put it down.
No, they caught it. Yeah.
Go on.
No, they were able to catch it, subdue it. They had a judgment on it, and the animal will not be put down. So,
yeah, I mean, look, listen, I'll have a steak tonight. So it's not like, I'm taking some massive stance or anything, but you take a gigantic, ferocious animal like a bull, which is insanely powerful. You have God knows how many thousands of people there staring at it, flashing lights, all that type of stuff. If you think human beings, fighters, it's the fight day nerves, it's the pressure, it's the bright lights that gets to you. What are you thinking it's doing to that bull's tiny little brain? Do you know what I mean? He's like, what is going on here? I want out of here. Boom, I'm flying over there. I'm glad it didn't get put down. I'm glad. But that is a terrifying prospect, a bull with big horns running around like that. I've been there. I've said it before. I worked at a slaughterhouse and we had to kill the cows, man. And the bulls, I've had some terrifying run-ins with a bull trying to save its life as I've been doing the business. Have I spoke about this? I think I have.
A bull? Never know.
So now and again, you got a bull. I've talked about how we used to slaughter the bulls.
Right, yeah,
the thing, the bell thing, and then, the piffing rod.
No
anyway,
for old men style.
I don't know what that reference means, but no country for old men style. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. And so we do one of them and the cows just drop. But some of the big, who's a definite juiced out fighter? Who's definitely
Mark Coleman.
A Mark Coleman in his prime. A Conor McGregor 2022-23. Some of the big marauding bulls. Yeah, and and it's like kind of in this thing that moves around and like you'd hit it with the hydraulic bolt and it wouldn't go down. And you're like, oh shit. You go again. And all it would do sometimes is just get it madder and madder and because it's fighting for its life. Yeah, and like the doors that kind of held it down, they go up and down on these conveyor belts and stuff. So they move. Do you know what I mean? And when that thing's shitting its pants for fighting for its life, and I'm stood there and I'm like 18 years old going, oh, and they're going, hit it again, and it's just going more and more wild. And then like the old dude comes up, the hell are you doing, Bisping? Kill the thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm traumatized, Yeah, man.
Did you ever have
slaughterhouse? Crazy.
Did you ever have one make it through the doors?
No, they never got through the doors. But in my mind, they probably couldn't get through the doors. Okay. But they do move. But in my little mind, my little uneducated, new to the slaughtering world mind, I'm like, this cow's going to get out of here and kill everybody, So, yeah, no, glad to see the bull didn't get killed.
You know who did get killed?
Good segue.
Mm-hmm. An alligator in Florida who made the mistake of running into Arman Tsarukyan. He was in, I believe it was the Florida Everglades. And he says he ran across this gator. He said, I choked him out. I pulled him from the river, choked him out, and put him on my back. In Florida, I got the license to kill the gator. You throw the hook in the river. Alligator got caught in the hook. You got to pull it. We pulled, two of us, me and my friend. We pulled one alligator. He was like 7 or 8 feet, but there is 12 or 13-foot gators, and hopefully he was small, maybe 50 to 70 pounds. I catch it without meat or anything, just a hook, empty hook. I kill a lot of animals, but I don't post the other animals. But alligators, it's okay.
Well, we've got to see a picture of it. You know what I mean? Brian, do we have the picture? Oh.
Dude.
Now, okay. All right. He'll get a couple of pairs of nice boots out of that. Put it back up, Brian. Let me see that thing again. I want to see that closely. Can we zoom in on it? Is that possible? If it's not possible, don't worry about it. I mean, that's... Bro. Now, the real question is, do we believe him? So just, what did he say? He said that he choked it out.
Yeah, he said that he threw a hook in, no meat on the hook. The alligator just bit the hook. Him and his buddy dragged it in. Once they got it in, Arman jumped on the back and choked it out.
Do you believe him?
I don't see any bullet holes. It doesn't look like it was bludgeoned to death. Unless it's a great party trick where it's sleeping like that. How else do you kill it with no marks?
Well, I'm just saying, look, listen, right? A rear naked choke. Mm-hmm. What is the smallest amount? I mean, that alligator was about that thick. Okay, so it's a good neck. But an alligator doesn't have a neck like a human being. It's just one long piece of muscle. Ridiculously powerful muscle, ridiculously tough hide, right? There isn't veins on the end of their throats that are going to get constricted by the pressure of Arman Tsarukyan. Listen, Arman's a great guy. I doubt he would fabricate such a story, but I'm just saying, he rear naked choked that alligator to death. Is that what you're asking me to believe right now?
I mean, look, that's what he's asking you to believe. And you know what? I mean, I'm not going to call the guy a liar because he could beat me up.
Yeah, no, but we can call bullshit on a story without it being offensive. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to sell himself. I think he's trying to get that Islam fight. Right? I'm sorry, Arman, you're the man. Big fan of you, brother. That's a bullshit story. There's no way that he choked that alligator to death. Brian, can I get a second opinion? What do you think? Because I think do you honestly believe that he choked that to death?
Not 1 second do I believe that.
What do you think? Is it a stuffed alligator? How else do you get an alligator?
You can hit it with your boat anyway.
Alligator. Alligators die. They don't live forever. You could poison it. It could eat some shitty meat. It could, come to a terrible end. A million different ways. Brian, can you just Google, can you choke an alligator to death? Right? I'm sure you can. I'm sure if you got like some kind of machine equipment, put it on its neck.
You think there's a gator choking machine?
Well, like some elevator doors shutting on it hard. You know what I mean? Fair. I don't think the pressure of Arman Tsarukyan, a goddamn lightweight. There ain't no lightweight out there choking out. No man alive can choke out an alligator. That's a good T-shirt. Send me in a design. We'll make it. I'm very curious as to see what Brian's going to say to that.
Well, I know they can't, I know alligators can't open their mouth if you put any kind of pressure on top. Like they have all their bite strength is down. They have no strength going up. So it's like, I guess if you start to choke it and you put your head in so it can't open its mouth anymore, then conceivably now it's just breathing out of those two little small nostrils that it's probably not used to breathing out of all the way. And
here's Brian with some actual sense. Harrington, do yourself a favor and just don't talk for the next.
I don't know how much actual sense I'm going to make. The internet seems to be in agreement. If it has a neck, you can choke it.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, so be it. And that's very, very impressive. But an alligator, which is basically a dinosaur that doesn't have a neck. Do you know what I mean? I'd assume it's hard to choke out. But what do I know about alligators? I ain't no goddamn hillbilly, son. I don't live down there. I don't live in those Everglades. Well, good for him.
Am I fair to say open invitation to Arman Tsarukyan if you want to come on here and give us tips on choking an alligator to death?
Oh, I want to hear all about this. I want to hear it from him firsthand if he choked this thing out or not. All right, this episode is sponsored by Mando, which comes from the makers of Lumi deodorant, and it is clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours wherever you stink. Pits, package, feet, and beyond. If you want to take care of that smell that you suffer with, some people are more sweaty than others, and when you sweat, it turns into a terrible odor. If you want to get rid of that smell, and by the way, you should want to get rid of that smell, then Mando whole body deodorant is the way to go. So you can smell like a 0 out of 10. Okay, because in a clinical study, men who showered with soap and used Mando whole body deodorant had an armpit odor score of 0 out of 10 after 12 hours. Men that showered with soap alone had an armpit odor score of 8 out of 10 after 12 hours. So that is a big difference. And right now you can get a special offer. New customers can get $5 off the starter pack with the exclusive code and the link when you go to shopmando.com and you use the code Bisping. $5 off. Listen, Mando is safe to use everywhere. The pits, the packages, the grundles and balls, the belly buttons, butt cracks, stinky crevices, stomach folds, and feet. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. As I say, clinically proven to block odor all day and then control odor for up to 72 hours. Smells great, by the way, as well. Baking soda free, paraben free, pH balanced, so it's safe to use below the belt. And as I say, will control odor for up to 72 hours. So as I said, new customers get $5 off, which is equivalent to 40% off your starter pack when you visit shopmando.com and use the code Bisping. Anyway, we've talked about bulls, we've talked about alligators. Give me another MMA story, please.
Okay. So this one is an interesting possible fight for the Sphere. A lot of guys recently been calling out Henry Cejudo. The latest one, Dominic Cruz. He says that in a rematch of their fight, which was for the bantamweight title, I think it was 5 years ago at this point, he thinks he would get a completely different fighter out of both of them, and he thinks it would make an incredible fight for the Sphere for Mexican Independence Day in September.
So Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz at the Sphere. I like it. I think it's a great call out. I think it makes sense for both men. I think with respect to both of them, they're both at the end of their incredible careers. You know, I mean, Henry Cejudo is, Dominic Cruz definitely is. Cruz, if I'm not mistaken, last time we saw him was when he lost to Chito Vera, right? He hasn't fought since.
Last time out? Wow.
Yeah, 2022. So he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. Last time we saw Cejudo, he came back against Merab, lost to Aljamain Sterling. So I think it's fair to say that he's kind of lost a step. I'm not saying, you know, that Merab or Aljo's wins weren't impressive, you know, but here was a guy that was beating everybody, you know, an Olympic gold medalist. And what, he's 36 now, maybe even 38. I'm not sure, but he's definitely pushing 40, right? You slow down, you get older. Dominic Cruz is there. Dominic Cruz is, I don't know what he is, 36, 37, maybe 38. Just look that up if you don't mind. But it makes perfect sense. It would be a rematch, right? Dominic Cruz didn't like it last time. He said that Keith Peterson smelled of cigarettes and alcohol, you know. I mean, Cruz, Cejudo won that fight fair and square. But in terms of two names, star power, legendary fighters going up against one another, competing at the Sphere. They're both Mexican or Mexican heritage or Mexican families. It makes all the sense in the world. I think that's a tremendous call out.
Yeah, I mean, Cruz versus Cejudo on a card celebrating Mexican Independence Day is like, you know, that's guaranteed going to get you another 50,000 pay-per-view buys or whatever, however they end up working that. Like, that's, in my mind at least, like fight promotion wise, like that's yeah.
I tell you what, that Sphere card is gonna be ridiculous. I know that the UFC are spending an absolute fortune on that card. The production value is going to be out of this world. It's going to be things that you've never seen done before. And don't be sitting there thinking this is Bisping being a company man. This is what I'm being told, because it's not the type of venue that they can go to. This might be a one and done kind of scenario. And so they're going to make a big splash. We saw Dana, I think he was talking to Andrew Schultz, you know, and he was talking about how, you know, to be called a Mexican fighter is one of the best compliments you can have. And it is. I remember Ross Pearson, Ultimate Fighter season 9, sorry. I was on season 3. Ross Pearson was ripping to the body. I forget who it was. And what was he called? Stitch, the old cut man. Mm-hmm. Stitch afterwards in the dressing room was like, man, you were like a Mexican. You were like a Mexican in there ripping to the body. And of course, Stitch Duran, he is Mexican. And Ross, coming from Newcastle in England, but being a boxing fan as well, he was tickled pink. He's like, you hear that, man? He was saying I was late. I fought in Mexican. Do you know what I mean? How are you, man? Let's go. Kid, I'm a Mexican, man. But it is. That's such an honor. And Dana's a massive boxing fan. And I don't know what it looks like inside the Sphere, but outside it's unbelievable.
Dude, it looks awesome. I've watched like a bunch of videos from Fish did like a big residency there last year, and it was like all the videos that they put out in HD were incredible. But it's like, this is nuts to the point where I think Dead & Co with John Mayer did a series there, or no, sorry, U2 was the opening thing there. They said it took them 8 days of their like 14-day run before they even broke even on production costs for the Sphere. Like, it is such a massive undertaking for anyone to be doing in there. So for the UFC to be doing this, it's like, you know, it kind of is a love letter to the fans. Like, this is not a cash grab by any stretch of the imagination.
I've got to be there. I very much doubt I'll be working that event, but I want to be there as a fan. Hope I can get a ticket. Because if I'm not mistaken, the inside is kind of like the outside, right? So imagine this, and I think we spoke about this, but like, so you make it like Street Fighter 2 or like a video game, you know, like, so say like Alex Pereira on his walkout, everything turns into the Amazon jungle. Do you know what I mean? And then somebody from Japan, lightning striking and clouds and just like a bit of the moon coming through the clouds and then like, do you know what I mean? Like Japanese temples and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Every one, and then you have the different settings and stuff. It'd just be unbelievable. And then you've got a sick fight going on. I mean, I don't like that. I think that's a waste of all those screens. You make it one big giant animation. I mean, yeah, that's again, that's very pretty and they're nice lights, but it's nothing like what I'm saying. I need 8-bit 1984 technology, Street Fighter 2.
Nah, man,
I'm joking.
Dude, for Mexican Independence Day, you do the square pyramids, like those giant square Mayan, and like make it look like it's two guys fighting in the desert at the foot of one of those. And you could do like 8K ultra, make it look like they're fighting anywhere on the planet.
Jeez, no, it'd be amazing. Obviously, for the Mexicans, there'll be a lot of Mexican themes. That's what it's all about. But the opponents probably won't be Mexican. You know what I mean? And oh God. It's unbelievable. Yeah. I hope I'm commentating that card. I won't be. It'll be John Anik, it'll be DC, and probably Dominic Cruz because he's Mexican. But I don't know. We'll see.
How can he commentate and fight?
Say again. That's right. That's right.
You better hope he gets this fight, baby boy.
Let's go. I'm going to start embracing my Mexican heritage. You know what I mean? I'm going to start wearing a brother's sombrero. I'm the biggest Mexican guy ever. I love Mexicans. Have you ever told you, Harrington, how much the culture and the food and the people, they're just so humble and they work hard.
Did you know Santa Anna's right-hand man was named Bisping?
Jesus Christ. Let's go. Sign me up. I'm moving to Tijuana. And in fact, it's not Tijuana, it's Tijuana.
There you go.
Because I respect the culture. If you're going to say the word, it's got to be said properly. Ask me a question.
How do you say chicken?
Pollo.
Oh, look at
Pay
that.
me a compliment.
Your hair looks great today, sir.
Con mucho gusto.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say gracias.
No, con mucho gusto. You're very welcome. Well, I only know that because that's what everybody says in Costa Rica. Anything you say in pura vida. Anyway, we're losing people by the second here. Give me an MMA story.
Okay, you want an MMA? All right, we got.
That was MMA, I think, but go on. What else is
that last one was MMA? So I got another one coming up. This is not strictly MMA, but it does include a former MMA fighter. Mike Perry finally got his big fight, the one he's been calling for God knows how long. It appears that he and Jake Paul are going to take that July 20th date that he was supposed to have with Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, so it's interesting, isn't it? So who's reporting that, by the way? Because I know if you Google his name, it's everywhere, right? If you Google Jake Paul or Mike Perry, they're all reporting it, right? But is Jake Paul saying that? Is Mike Perry saying that? Now, granted, they might not because they want to do a big unveil, so to speak. But I thought they'd moved officially the Tyson date to November, correct?
Yes. Yeah. That fight is scheduled to go down same place in Dallas. But yeah, I believe it was Thanksgiving weekend or something like that.
Yeah. Because I tell you what, I mean, yeah, Jake Paul has all the young YouTuber fans and stuff like that, and I think regardless, if he was to lose to Mike Perry, they'd probably still watch the spectacle of him versus Mike Tyson. We all know I don't think that fight should take place. I tell you what. He started training. He had some issues. Mike Tyson had a medical emergency. Now he can't train. It's going to be even harder because guess what? It's only a few months, but we're getting older every single day. That's why you got to get out there, Harrington. You got to enjoy yourself. You got to make memories, buddy. You got to.
I got in the gym. I got in the gym this morning.
You did? What did you do?
I boxed a little bit for the first time in a long time. Got my ass absolutely handed to me by anyone who stepped in that ring.
You just had to bring that up. Oh, I was boxing this morning, you know.
Yeah. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, but Mike Tyson is getting older. Who knows if that fight will even take place? But the point I'm making is that if it was a regular fight scenario, there's no way Jake Paul would be fighting somebody else.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the risk. If you lose, it affects that fight. Because I tell you what, I don't think Jake Paul will beat Mike Perry. I think, once again, they have tried to masterfully navigate this world. Assuming that this fight's happening. It isn't confirmed. It's widely reported everywhere. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. So they think what they've done is they've dragged out another former UFC guy that is washed up that Jake Paul's now going to beat, right? And they've up on this one. They've up on this one, right? Nate Diaz, perfect, right? Tyrone Woodley, hold on. It was the basketballer, then it was Ben Askren. He can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. Simple as that. Then it was Tyrone Woodley, okay, who the fire had long gone out, okay? Then it was Tommy Fury, if I'm not mistaken. Tommy Fury beats him. They're like, ooh, oh no, it was Anderson Silva first. Fair play. He beat Anderson Silva. Give him that. Did Anderson get old? Yes. Did Anderson underestimate him? Probably. But fair play, he beat him. He beat him in a boxing match. So respect for that. Then he fights Tommy Fury, loses. They're like, whoa, what are we doing? Whoa. Then it was Nate Diaz. Fights Nate Diaz. Diaz and Masvidal are going down. We got to talk about that bloody crazy brawl. Did we talk about that?
Yeah. No, we didn't.
Nice job putting that in the notes, Harrington.
Yeah, I knew I was missing something. My bad.
Yeah. So then he beats Diaz. Diaz didn't look good. Let's be honest. So anyway,
and then
he
I think
fights
a
like
Domino's
Ryan
driver.
Borland. Then he beats a Domino's driver and yeah, a couple of past their prime, older boxers, whatever. I don't know. Who cares? But Jake Paul's a legit fighter. Jake Paul, yeah, I think it was something like 14-8 in the UFC. So he had a good little run.
You're talking about
outside.
Perry.
Yeah, sorry, pardon me, Mike Perry. Yeah, sorry, thank you. Mike Perry, yeah, left the UFC. He had some good wins. He had a few losses. He was never the most technical grappler. He's not really a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not really a wrestler. But he's a hard-nosed, hard-chinned, tough-nosed son of a bitch will get in your face and fight you to the death kind of person, right? And yes, bare knuckle boxing is different to regular boxing. The gloves, well, they have gloves for one, so the hands don't cut you and all that type of stuff, but it ain't that different. At the end of the day, you're still swinging with your hands. Mike Perry will go at him. He's got good little boxing. He's got powerful hands. He's got a great chin. He'll have a gas tank on him. And he's hungry and he trains. And I think he smokes Jake Paul.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the only thing that makes me just a little bit hesitant is Mike Perry was fighting at I think it was 170 for most of his time in the UFC, and Jake Paul walks around like 215. I think he fights at 195 or 205 or something like that. So that is a lot of weight to ask Mike Perry to put on. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, he got in there with Luke Rockhold, who was a 185er who fought at 205. So
a gigantic 185er. Rockhold's massive.
Right.
And by the way, he beat Rockhold, he beat Michael Venom Page, he beat Eddie Alvarez, he beat Thiago Alves. Granted, Eddie and Thiago maybe, but Venom Page in the prime of his career. Luke Rockhold, people love to shit on Luke, and discredit him. Luke Rockhold in his prime, which granted he's not now because he's older and he's had some knockout losses, Yoel Romero, Jan Blachowicz, myself, and there's, He's been through it. But when he was in his prime, he was an absolute monster. A monster. Look at what he did to Lyoto Machida and people like that. People forget. But for Perry to go out there and beat him the way that he did, to knock his teeth out, do you know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do, to beat Michael Venom Page. Look at how Michael Venom Page made Kevin Holland look like an absolute amateur at UFC 299. And I don't enjoy saying that, but he had Kevin just getting desperate and swinging because there was the only chance, because he wasn't quick enough to actually try and throw a decent shot. He just had to try and throw a wild whatever to try and get a hope in hell's chance of catching him, So given that Mike Perry beat all of them in a bare knuckle boxing match, I think I put my money on him against Jake Paul. But what weight is it going to be at? Did they say a weight?
No. So I'm looking at, it's just one of these Twitter accounts that posted this thing, and it just said that they have agreed to the bout. So I'm not seeing And it says, per sources, July 20th, sources closest to Paul's camp. Does not say anything about a weight or location or anything other than date and opponent.
Yeah, so there's an article here that I'm looking at. Mike Perry and Sean Strickland have been talking shit as well. Did you see this?
Ooh. No,
Yeah.
I saw Rockhold talking shit to Strickland, but not Perry.
Yeah, so Rockhold and Strickland. So Sean Strickland and Mike Perry recently engaged in a dispute regarding fighter pay in the bare knuckle fighting championships. Strickland was asked about a potential career in BKFC leading up to his 302 fight against Paulo Costa, and he said, "Oh, how much will I get for fighting bare knuckle, man? Nothing." He said, "How much would I get for fighting bare knuckle? Nothing. That's what they would pay me. They're paying their guys shit. They're breaking their hands, breaking their orbitals, and they're making a couple of $1,000." So then Mike Perry came over and he said, Sean Strickland, he's fighting for the UFC for pesos and I'm getting paid over here. He's always posting videos on Instagram where he walks outside of his garage of his front door and somebody is in his driveway and he's trying to fight them bare knuckle for free. So what are you talking about, Sean? And then Mike Perry goes on to bitch about UFC pay, etc., etc. And then he goes, "While I'm on a soapbox from a poor man who became kind of a rich man, once you have capital, it just snowballs. Though these elites could probably never take a paycheck again and easily make $500K a year. Yet they still line their bank accounts with millions." I don't know what he's going on about now. But anyway, Strickland, Mike Perry, talking shit. Strickland's making good money, no doubt. Once you get to the high ends of the UFC, you're making great money. You are. But Mike Perry, by all accounts, is making ridiculous money. Bare Knuckle FC, I was very, very shocked. Like Anthony told me one of the offers that they made him. And I was like, what? I had no idea that they had that kind of money. And now McGregor invested. He's got a piece of that. I think with McGregor involved, there's going to be more sponsors coming, into the fold. Big sponsors paying massive amounts of money, better TV deals, streaming networks, whatever it is, going to be more money. Mike Perry's getting paid, and he's the biggest star in that organization by far.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, Mike Perry can say what he wants, but he was topping out as like, a fight night main event or a prelim headliner on like a pay-per-view in the UFC. For BKFC, he's their Conor McGregor. He's their massive star that they're putting like the tentpole pay-per-views are on Mike Perry. So it's like you can't. That's apples and oranges, Mike. But to what you're making in BKFC, I'm sure there are guys lower down on the card who are getting paid $500 to break their hands.
Oh, 100%. Just like in the UFC, that's what he's talking. Who's saying that? Oh, Mike Perry. Yeah. There's guys making 12 and 12. I think that's entry now, right? That's not bad. Just like in boxing.
24K a year?
24K a year. There's people making $500 and there's people, we don't need to defend UFC fighter pay and on boxing the same shit. You know what I mean? But it's like anything. Mike Perry, when he was in the UFC, right, he wasn't fighting for belts and stuff like that. He was popular and he won some good fights, but he's not the best mixed martial artist. He definitely is one of the best bare knuckle fighters. That's just a fact. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you can't cut it, you don't do that well. And eventually he parted ways with the promotion because, like Donald Cerrone submitted it. And Donald Cerrone's got great jiu-jitsu, by the way. But he found his niche, man. And I'm so happy because I love seeing the shit Mike Perry has to say. I think he's such an entertaining character. He's hilarious. I've never watched a full episode of his podcast, but I see some clips. He's got a good podcast as well. Don't unsubscribe. Subscribe and ring the bell to the Believe You Me. Thank you. But yeah, he's got a good podcast. Mike Perry, he's entertaining in whatever it is. Oh, by the way, we're going to talk about this. This weekend, Chael Sonnen boxing Anderson Silva in Brazil. And I'm very intrigued because Chael Sonnen is a master promoter. And I saw a couple of video clips from him this week. Brian, let's start with this one of him packing. He's packing with his children. And this is just hilarious. Have a look at this.
Ready for the fight? Dad, did you remember to take your steroids?
Yeah, everything's coming together.
Okay, then what is that?
Oh, pause. Did you remember to take your steroids? I mean, that's brilliant, right? Talk about leaning into it, right? And just like playing up to it. And he's told the kid to say, ask me to say, did you remember to take your steroids? I mean, think of that what you will, you know what I mean? But go on, continue, Bright.
It's a ninja star.
It's a ninja star. That's when it's ninja star. You throw it. You can be very quick. You get good with it. You do one with each hand. That's disgusting. I would never want to poke somebody's eye out. Particularly the rules say you just have to get a cut and they can interfere. There's no need for a loss of an eye. So this is called nunchucks, as you know. You can hide these inside your gloves. I've had these in many fights. I don't plan to hit Anderson with nunchucks. I bring the nunchucks in case I need to hit Anderson. Does that make sense? I don't think I'm going to die, but I have a life insurance policy.
Good.
I don't think I'm going to need a knife. But you tuck it in the glove in case.
You'll stab your hand.
Exactly. Highly illegal in the fight. I don't plan to use this stuff there. You bring it in case.
Dad, are you ready for the fight?
Yeah.
Dad, did you remember?
That's a great point. Like, listen, I don't think I'm going to die, but I've got a life insurance policy. You know, I don't think I'm going to need a ninja star. I don't think I'll need nunchucks or a knife. I mean, I love how he's got the kids involved. It's fantastic. And Chael is absolutely hilarious. There's another one. I think he's doing some media, Brian. Let's have a look at this.
Why? I'm not going to go out and try to knock him out with my power. I'm not going to go out there and think that I can put a pressure on him and make him quit. I've tried that twice. That's not the strategy to beat Anderson. Can I beat Anderson Silva?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think he's faster than him. I really.
You mentioned that last night. You said he's faster than me, which was a big surprise. Watch this. Are you ready? Ready? Do you think he can move that fast?
Probably.
All right, so he's faster than me, but what else? Look at how big. Look at the steroids. Hey, look how big I am.
Look at the steroids.
What was the question?
Can I beat Anderson Silva?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do I beat him?
Use your power. Oh, cheat.
Why? I'm going to be out there watching. I'm not going to...
Again, he's planted that. They've said, listen, when I ask you how do I beat him, you say cheat. And he goes, use your power. And cheat. You know, I mean, that's great. It's hilarious. You know, his son, obviously, is a chip off the old block. Best of luck to both men. It just, that reminds me of when I was fighting and Lucas, at least Chael's son, said that he thinks he's going to win. You know, so many times Lucas was always like, I'm like, who's going to win? I think Anderson Silva because he's stronger. He picked Dan Henderson. He picked Anderson Silva. He picked Luke Rockhold. And he picked me to beat GSP. So the one time he did pick me, I lost. But that's great, man. I don't think in a boxing match, see earlier conversation, Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. So I think Anderson's definitely slowing down. But at least Anderson's been active. There's no threat of a takedown from Chael Sonnen. Obviously, that was what made him successful, certainly in that first fight. And the second fight, if I remember rightly, in the second fight, he took him down in round 1 and kind of had a really successful round. In round 2, tried a spinning back fist and fell over and got finished. But there's no threat of a takedown. Zero threat. And I just don't think Chael's like that good of a boxer. He does have power. You know, I've told the story many times. When I fought Chael, he took me down and I was getting back up and he hit me with a little short, like little uppercut as I was just getting back to my knees. I was talking about this last week when I was on set. I was telling Big John McCarthy, this is true. This is not me trying to be funny. This is not me trying to be. I specifically remember I took a shot and for a split second, I was in a field with big, tall, yellow flowers riding a bike. And then I snapped out of it and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in an octagon. I'm in the middle of a fight. But for a split, I got hit for a split second. I was in like a field and it was a beautiful sunny day. It's like I was in paradise and I was riding a bike. And then it came back and I'm like, oh shit, whoa, get back into it. So Chael does have power. He's on the steroids. He's got the ninja stars. He's got the nunchucks and the knife inside the glove. All that together, I still think he loses a boxing match.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I think, look, if he needs to use the nunchucks and does use the nunchucks, I think there is a path to victory there. But anything short of that, yeah, I do think. I mean, Anderson Silva went out there against, I mean, it was a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and put a clinic on him. I mean, granted, that guy's also towards the end of his run, but
Tito Ortiz slapped him with one shot. It was a really, really bad knockout that he got Tito with. That's what he did throughout the entirety of his career. He'll be slower. He's aging. But Anderson isn't a guy that's getting flatlined. He lost a decision against Jake Paul because Jake's younger and probably had a higher work rate and hit him with a couple of good shots here and there. But Anderson's not a guy that his chin has expired. He's not a guy that's getting consecutively knocked out time after time. He's just a guy that's aging, and a guy that ages gets slower. It's as simple as that, But so's Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen's 45, 46 maybe, and he's never been a striker. Can he throw a punch? Of course. Is he going to go out there and try his best? Of course. Will he be on every performance-enhancing drug known to man? Of course. Will he get tested? No chance. They're both going to be juiced up. They're in Brazil, baby. They don't give a shit, Have some fun. I hope it's an entertaining fight. I hope they both get paid a boatload of cash, and I hope no one gets hurt. I think if I have to pick a winner, I've got to go with Anderson Silva all day long, but it'll be a fun event. I think it's incredible, that these two are locking horns once again after those two massive fights that they had all these years later. The first one was 2010. I was working on a TV show called Hollyoaks in the UK. It's like soap opera for teenagers, basically. I was working on that.
Like Sins or something like that?
It's Hollyoaks, but it was Hollyoaks late night. So they show a bit of tit and ass in that, and there's a bit of violence and the occasional swear word. So I was the bad guy. I was a gangster brought in. I forget what I was doing now, selling drugs and the usual affair. And of course I die. I died a very sticky death. Yeah, man, fair play to him. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I wonder. I think it's on DAZN. So it is. You are going to be able to watch that thing.
I will be working in Las Vegas, as always. I got fights this weekend. Tatsuro Taira taking on Alex Perez, and a decent undercard as well. This episode is sponsored by Shopify, which is taking over the world of e-commerce and making it very, very simple for you. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a businessman, if you sell any kind of products, you got to get online. You got to sell to the whole worldwide market. You got to get online. Sounds complicated, sounds expensive, sounds time consuming, but not with Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. So whatever it is that you're selling, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person, so you can basically just focus on successfully growing your business. Shopify covers every sales channel, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like Facebook and Instagram. It's packed with industry-leading tools to ignite your growth. Shopify gives you complete control of your business and your brand without having to learn any new skills in design or code. And thanks to a 24/7 help service and an extensive customer business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every single step of the way. So now it is time to get serious and try Shopify today. Sign up for $1 per month for a trial period. Shopify.com/believe, all lowercase. That is the website. As I said, a $1 per month trial period. Literally nothing to lose, but it could make you a lot of money. It will take your business to the next level today. I almost said millions of dollars. I don't know about that. It could potentially, depends how successful your business is. But if it's a good idea and you're not online, now's the time to do it with Shopify. Shopify.com/believe to take your business to the next level today. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period. Shopify.com/believe. What else have we got, Harrington? Any more stories to get to?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, do you want to go MMA or non-MMA?
Give me a non-MMA.
Okay. I think this one is, we were talking about Elon Musk before. He's catching a little bit of flack here after he provided a tribe. I believe it was either in Africa or the Amazon with Starlink, giving them access to the internet for the first time. Right. It's a remote indigenous tribe. They liked it. It was awesome, doing great for the first few months there. But now we're about a year in. Apparently, all the young boys in the village are addicted to porn and just scrolling on their phone all day. Like nothing gets done anymore. Everyone's lost to the cell phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because think about it, right? We've had a slow integration with technology. I don't know much about these tribes, but if they don't have Wi-Fi, I'm assuming they don't have the everyday mod cons that we have, the modern conveniences. How the f have they even got cell phones?
I mean, I'm guessing
that's
Starlink
my first question. When I think of Amazonian or African tribes, I don't think of them having iPhone 15 Pro Max.
No, but you can get an Android pretty cheap anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's not surprising that they bloody got addicted to porn. I mean, that's the thing. I saw a video today online, and it's so true. And I wish I took note of this because I didn't. Like Lucas has had a phone for a couple of years. The kids, Callum and Ellie, they had phones when they were about, I want to say 10, 11, something like that. They didn't have iPhones back then, but they had phones because we want to be able to contact them, when they're out playing with their friends and whatnot. We're talking 13 years ago. So, they weren't really, they were a thing, but certainly they weren't having iPhones. But I saw this video and it said, if you want to give your kid a phone, give it a flip phone. Do not give it a smartphone. No child should have access to the internet freely. And I thought that is a great point. It's a great point. Certainly for young men, they said they're going to be watching beheading videos. They're going to be watching porn. They're going to be watching all manner of the disgusting side of human nature, what you can find online. Because young men particularly, they're curious. And when you're younger and you're immature, you find that stuff, I don't want to say entertaining, but you find it like you're curious about it. You want to watch it. You've never seen it. You don't know if it's real. You see it. The shock value of it, like not impresses you, but like
it's fascinating.
It's fast. There is a fascination. You're like, shit, this stuff really happens. And a lot of young boys, they're not sexually active, so then they get to watch some bloody porn. They're like, oh my God, and it's, yes. So he said, don't give smartphones, give them a phone, give them a smartphone at 14, but you don't give them unrestricted access to everything. I don't even know how you do that until they're 16 years old. And I think that's actually pretty good advice. And if they're a bunch of Yanomamo tribesmen from the Amazonian jungle, and that is a real tribe, by the way, the Yanomamo. It is. Do you know how I know that?
From doing desk work for an Alex Pereira fight?
No, it's not, but that's a good that's a good guess. No, my brother Conrad, he was a part of the choir, and they sung a song with Sting about the lonely jaguar and the Yanomamo tribe in the Amazon jungle. Yeah, how about that? Isn't that cool? Anyway, so the Yanomamo people, they're not rocking an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and they do not need a subscription to Bang Bros. You know what I'm saying? But Brian, maybe you could shed some light on this if you feel up to it. I know you're suffering with a bit of toothache right now. I saw, speaking of Elon Musk, and I don't understand this, I saw some posts the other day, I'm sure you know all about this, where he was saying that apparently the iPhones are going to integrate into their operating server OpenAI, kind of like a chat GPT thing. And I saw the tweets from Elon saying, if they do that, none of his employees will be able to enter their headquarters with a phone that is Apple, simple as that, because of the security breach. Are you able to elaborate on that?
I don't know too much more than what you said, but it makes all the sense in the world. If the phone is able to autonomously do things on its own, like take in data from classified areas and all that other shit, you absolutely shouldn't be able to have them in like I know somebody who works in the Pentagon and he can't bring his phone in.
Yeah. But what is the threat of just having the program in the operating server? I mean, obviously, I do. I never ever use it. I downloaded ChatGPT because I wanted to see what it was all about, and I think I've messed with it for fun 2 or 3 times and forgotten that I even bloody have it.
OpenAI is a little more robust than your ChatGPT is going to be, and if you give your essentially it's getting close to AGI where it's like an autonomous general intelligence, where if you give that access to your network, then who knows what's going to happen once this thing gets access to your network and all your files. That's the danger behind it is.
So basically, it's a protocol just playing, basically, being on the safe side.
It's literally the plot for Terminator, right? So Skynet was designed to do all these things, and it secretly got into everybody's programs all over the world. And then when they told Skynet to get rid of itself, it turned on the people. That's literally the plot for Terminator.
And a lot of other science fiction movies as well. Basically,
Sure.
Anyway, all right. Well, listen, if you're addicted to porn and you're in the Amazon jungle, sue Elon Musk.
It's his fault.
It's his fault. You brought this stuff down here. I'd never seen it before. I didn't even know what porn was. Now I can't get away from it. No,
the lengths he will go to get new people to sign up for Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. No man alive should be seeing that. No, give me some MMA. We'll do about another 15 minutes or so if you got time, and then we'll call it a day.
Yeah, all the time in the world. I think the biggest story, you touched on it earlier, that Diaz Masvidal brawl. From last week's press conference. So again, Nate Diaz, as he's wont to do, walks off of a press conference stage. That is to be expected at this point. Now, then after that, Masvidal and one of the guys in Diaz's crew actually got into it with one of the guys in Diaz's crew taking the first swing.
Capetillo, you good? Capetillo, ven. Capetillo, you good? Aguanta, Capetillo, aguanta, relax.
For that.
Yeah, no, I've seen some other footage as well where Masvidal's getting pulled by his hair. They sneak up behind him and they kind of pull him by the hair and stuff. I
think that's this here.
I mean, it really kicked off, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these guys really got into it. It seems like there's some actual bad blood.
Put that back on, Brian. I was enjoying that, buddy. Put that back on.
And you see guys hitting the deck, chairs being thrown. Masvidal's got him by the hair, the guy who threw that first punch.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch. Shut up. Sorry. It's repeating. Shit, man. Shit. Wow. I mean, it's great promotion for a fight. It really is. I mean, again, McGregor Khabib, biggest one ever. And we know what happened there. What is the deal with Diaz, man? And his whole crew. I mean, that could have got really ugly. And I know I sound like an old, boring fart when I say this. But you see all like the metal pipes, and there was a lot of like concrete around and stuff like that. And they're all, it seems like Diaz and his crew, they're mainly the instigators. And listen, we all enjoy what the Diaz brothers do. But there's a lot of innocent bystanders there. You know what I'm saying? When shit kicks off like that, people get hurt. People get caught in the You know, the uproar of it all, they get knocked over, they hit their head, someone really hurts themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do it in the ring. You know, I mean, granted, all right, it's all promotion. And to a certain extent, it is. But it's like, come on, man. Come on. Conduct yourself with a little bit of class.
Hey, man, if you're a real one in the Nick Diaz army, you're going to be able to hold your own in a brawl like that. And if you ain't a real one in the Nick Diaz army, then you against us and you deserve whatever happened to you. I feel like that's the mindset.
Yeah, well, if you're a real man as well, you don't need to go around with an army. You never see me. I'm not saying I'm the toughest man alive, but, you know, it's me, myself, and I. I don't need a whole crew of ass-licking goons telling me how great I am, willing to cause a scene and disrupt innocent people's lives. You know, granted, they're going to throw down and tensions flare, just like with Tyson Fury and what was it? Tyson Fury and
Big John and Usyk's man.
Yeah, and Usyk and what his father did. You know, and granted, it didn't look like that was Diaz there. You know, and it's always often the case. So Diaz is focusing on the fight with Masvidal. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming it's Diaz's team, right? Talking shit, starting shit, being violent, because Diaz has got a fight to train for. Diaz doesn't want to be rolling around in that situation. He wants to get paid for all the work that he's done, for all the promotion that they've done. You know what I mean? Getting involved in a fight like that, the fight could easily be cancelled. But it's all the other ones, because they ain't getting in the ring. They haven't got the acclaim. They haven't got the fame. They haven't got the money. But they want to be seen to be a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? So find something better to do with your life. Simple as that. It's always the ones that are around the tough guys that have always got the loudest mouths and always willing to do shit like that. But those guys probably wouldn't do shit in a one-on-one situation. You know, I know a guy that I was in Toronto, and this guy is not a fighter. This guy is a weak pussy of a human being. But because he was with me and Pereira and a few others, and he felt safe, he was abusing this guy across the street. And I think he thought that we would find it impressive. I think he thought that we'd think, oh, yeah. And I was like, what are you doing? Well, why are you acting tough to that guy there? Because that guy will kick the out of you, but you know you're with us. So one, he won't kick the out of you. And two, you think that impresses us? Do you think me and Perillo are actually impressed, going, wow, look at this guy. He's talking shit to someone.
Yeah, we wanted to get dragged into a fight tonight.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's when I was there promoting the George St. Pierre fight, you know, when we went to the Ice Hockey Hall of Fame, and we just went out for dinner that night. And this one guy's acting all tough that's with us, and just being a dick to people. Oh, yeah, that's really impressive to us. You being rude and obnoxious to someone across the street for doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? But that's what some people do. They get around fighters, and I'm not saying these people, they get around fighters and they think that that's impressive. That impresses them. It doesn't. Anyway, I hope, again, Masvidal and Diaz, that goes down soon. Once again, I hope they make a ton of money. I got Jorge Masvidal in that fight all day long, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to pick Diaz at this point. You know what I mean?
All
you're
day
coming
long.
off a Jake Paul loss. I cannot back the guy who just lost to Jake Paul in the same sport you're about to fight Jorge Masvidal in. You know what I mean? Masvidal
beat him pretty soundly. Yes, it was a cut. You know what I mean? But it was a pretty good beatdown until that point came. But you never know. Diaz is tough. Look at him in round 5 against Leon Edwards, you know, which is a fair point, to be fair. And anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We will be back with another show. A second show coming at you this week. If you have a question, please send it in to bympod@gmail.com. Now, there's no questions to do today because you guys haven't sent in good ones. There has been some submitted, but they're just not good questions. To be quite frank, and I don't know this, I'm going off what Brian said.
So,
they're pretty bad questions, though, you said.
I'm never going to play, again, what's the best base for your kid? It's been answered 13 times.
Yes.
If you want to start your kid in MMA, send him to jiu-jitsu or boxing, period. We've said that 100 times.
Or wrestling, or anything.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with any of them, to be honest.
And then, check your videos and make sure there's audio on them. That's another hint.
We need audio. We do need audio if you're going to send the question in, but we appreciate all of the support. Thank you for watching. Harrington.
If you are listening on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 500 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. And for this week only, last week, use promo code BYM14, get yourself a free trial. After that, no more free trials. They're done.
And no more show today. That's it. That's a wrap. Take care. And I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.